You're looking for information on how to say what is your name in Spanish. You are in the right place because in this video that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's cut to the chase. How do you say what your name in Spanish is? It is ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? So I'll repeat that a couple of times more. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? And perhaps what you might like to do is to stop the video and actually repeat it after me. Here we go again. ¿Cómo te llamas? But unfortunately, life isn't that simple. In fact, in Spanish, there are 4 different ways of saying your name in Spanish, or what is your name in Spanish. And on the screen here, I've got the other 3 in addition to ¿Cómo te llamas? And what we've actually got is ¿Cómo se llama?, ¿Cómo os llamáis?, and ¿Cómo se llaman? 4 options in Spanish. The 3 are on the screen. I'm now going to unpack each of those particular phrases and explain why, indeed, there are different ways of saying in Spanish, what is your name? So first of all, let's look at ¿Cómo se llama? Now, ¿Cómo se llama? Means what is your name, but you would tend to use this in formal circumstances. In other words, you'll be speaking to people that you don't know very well or you've just met. So in those circumstances, in the formal circumstance, you would say ¿Cómo se llama? Now, why don't you take the opportunity to repeat that after me? I'll say it twice and then perhaps you'd like to repeat it and I'll leave a little gap on the video. So here we go. ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama? Okay, your turn and I'll go quiet. Muy bien, muy bien. Good. ¿Cómo se llama? Let's have a look at the next question, and this one is ¿Cómo os llamáis? ¿Cómo os llamáis? Now, this particular question is used in an informal environment. In other words, it's people you know, friendly people that you know, and you're talking to more than one. So in other words, this is in the plural. Now, an example of this is perhaps as when a teacher is in a class, meeting a new class, and that teacher could say to the class, ¿Cómo os llamáis? What are your names? In other words, asking each of the kids in the room, not individually, but as a group. So in those particular circumstances, it would be ¿Cómo os llamáis? So now I'm going to say that particular phrase a couple of times, and then I'm going to give you the opportunity again to repeat it and practice it. Let's go. ¿Cómo os llamáis? ¿Cómo os llamáis? Okay, I'll now hand it over to you, and don't be put off if it looks a bit long. Perhaps you might prefer to close your eyes and just repeat ¿Cómo os llamáis? That might be easier. I'm now going to go quiet. Over to you. Estupendo, amigos míos. ¿Cómo os llamáis? So we're now at the last of the 4 different ways of saying what is your name in Spanish, and this one is ¿Cómo se llaman? ¿Cómo se llaman? So when do you use ¿Cómo se llaman? We can break it down into A, it being in formal circumstances, and B, you're talking to more than one person. So perhaps the example I could give, you've got a number of new business contacts that you've just made, and you could say to them, ¿Cómo se llaman? Because you're talking to all of them, and you're actually saying, what are your names? So that would be, ¿Cómo se llaman? But that's the fourth way that we've looked at and saying, what is your name in Spanish? And it's ¿Cómo se llaman? ¿Cómo se llaman? So like in the other examples, I'm going to say it a couple of times, and then I'm going to give a little pause to enable you to repeat it. Let's go. ¿Cómo se llaman? ¿Cómo se llaman? Over to you. I'm all ears. Muy bien. Buena pronunciación. ¿Cómo se llaman? Well, that's it. I hope you found that useful. If you did, why don't you consider subscribing to the channel and actually giving it a thumbs up. Hasta pronto, amigos míos.